The Gateway of Dreams. Our adventurers would watch as the High Wizard disappeared into the night, and discussed amongst themselves what had just occurred. The clear influence, however small, from the forsaken gods below made manifest before them. The true level of devastation that would be wrought, or indeed had been wrought, when these same gods had reigned upon the surface 2,000 years ago. The temptation to remove such a powerful liability within the Arddrau was proposed, but determined a paralleled will and possible extension of Cercel's very desired outcome. Our adventurers would return to the House of Healing, and Zuzu spent time attuning to his family grimoire, and with Azazel's light-fingered help, the flame of the Erlen as well would be swiped from the sleeping Ellie's bag of holding. Taking time to delve into the energy and mystery of the flame, Zuzu could sense the degree of its power, and that it was truly beyond mortal comprehension. But the flame attuned to Zuzu, and would choose to obey whatever commands he was currently capable. The orb radiating by the starlight and moonlight upon which it was currently cast, its very nature of indisputable beauty and wonder, ancient and primordial. Within the night, Azazel's Galranan would seize and quiver, almost vibrate, as they could feel the protection and efforts of their queen, their patron, through it, through them. The invasive force, seeking to shed first blood in its desire, came as a fleeting yet stilling presence. Cercel. From flesh to marrow, leaving the scent of blood and iron in his wake, as his image and form passed over and through Azazel. Pale, red-eyed, achingly beautiful, and terrifying. Azazel would calm themselves and remain at attention for the remainder of the night, seeking refuge and cleansing within the oncoming sun. For as the dawn began to break, Azazel could only feel then the recoiling retreat of Cercel's remaining echo. Zuzu took notice of Azazel's unusual ritual within the sun, and Azazel would explain to him the happenings of the previous evening, both now speculating if such events are due to the gods above and below, taking notice and heed of them, for better or for worse. Aiden would offer to accompany the party to the Temple of the Gods, where the Keeper of the Faith awaited them. With noticeable hesitation, the Keeper of Faith would lead the party to the reliquary of the temple. Religious artifacts laid throughout the underground crypt under strict protection, as they came upon the source of their find. A Silencio, vision glass. A sacred and ancient tool of the Archdruids, gifted to them by Aloria herself upon the very birth of the Dreaming. This particular sample having been excavated from the nearby God's Mound upon Emersion's founding. Despite the ravages of time evident throughout the relic, Zuzu would recognize not only its origins, but its function, its nature. His family grimoire even revealing the process under which it was utilized by the primordial beings. By no seeming coincidence, the Keeper of the Faith disclosed the last person to inquire about the heirloom was none other than Zeus's father years ago. Connective forces within the cycle were still present within the glass, however faint. Silvered and misted to Zuzu's eye and a black ichor for Azazel. As Zuzu in a stroke of arcane curiosity would bring forth the flame of the Erlen, surging the Silentir to life. the ancient forces thrumming in shared recognition. Zuzu would guide the party in his knowledge of the Salintir's use, deciding that this once again was meant for archdruids, or at the very least ancient druids alone. That only they knew the intricacies of its navigation, the full means of the journey. The power to venture directly to Eloria's realm. Gathered around the basin, with the mist and ichor faint but welcoming, our adventurers would follow Zuzu's lead and dip their faces into oblivion. As the song and throes of the echoes between worlds would fill their senses, suspended in an endless sea of freezing blackness, the piercings of the infinite seeming to hold them in nether space. But a force beyond all of them, beyond anything they'd felt, even here was guiding them, pulling them by unimaginable means with unfathomable power, ushering them, shepherding them forcefully through the beyond. The desire to break the bind and grasp for ephemeral air would be overwhelming for our adventurers. But Zuzu knew to hold fast and had warned his party as such. The fears, desires, and confines of mortal flesh must be persevered, conquered, and governed to reveal the vision that lay beyond, as they would be painfully tested, pulled and pulled through the icy dark sea. And the vision would indeed appear. The vision of the shepherd herself, the dream mistress. Cloaked as she ever was, hidden deep within a cowl surrounded by the Stygian sea within the cosmos. A moment in time between and within all webs of the eternal cadence. She would stand at the base of an endless, enormous stair spiraling heavenward, their end not clearly within sight. Her cloak, as she gestured for our adventurers to follow her gate, seemed to consume all within starlight, the stairs themselves connecting the sea of celestial void. Upon the landing, a great gate, resonating in pure possibility, would manifest before all. Dreams within dreams, imagination beyond imagination, and thoughts beyond all comprehension, all that could be conceived. The gateway of the dreaming awaited them. The dream mistress would extend a single arm, skin seeming made of pearl and marbled stone, radiating near opalescent, gesturing once again in silence to stand by her side. All would obey, and Zuzu would offer something to the night mistress, a gift. As curiosity would take over once again, he would reveal the flame of the heirloom to her. The same guiding marble hand would extend, and the flame would venture in blind swiftness to her grasp. The returning welcome of an old friend, a child, a lover, existence itself. And in this moment of tenderness, the party would witness a true celestial form of the dream goddess, but if only for moments. Eloria herself would be revealed. Beauty, radiating even within the dark. Bioluminescent as a moon to an open sea. A great crystal crown adorned almost a part of her as she would return the flame to our wizard, clearly filled with an offering of her own. And in finality she would reach for Zuzu's amulet, gifted from his beloved wife and suspended above her, above all. A crystal crown glowing in effervescence, the same shade in color, even likeness as Eloria, Queen of the Crystal Throne and Lord of the Dreaming, would ascend all within the party to the Vision Gateway. The amulet appearing to pierce through the veil before them, Eloria guiding their way. And touches of hopes, dreams, and visions would permeate, manifesting in echoes among party members. Zuzu, young and full of incredible powers of the arcane, deeply rooted in the cycle, time and space. Azazel ascended, soaring in the beyond through all shadow and veiled by the feathers of multiple enormous blackened wings. Scott of similar ilk, only radiating in celestial light, wings of golden draconic scaling, and white feathered masses. And Ellie displaying a mechanical heart beating within the power of souls and eternal malleable creation. And they would ascend, until all would eventually, as all things do, pass over and through.
Was that it?
Yes.
Oh my god, okay. I was like literally waiting, like I'm on a cliffhanger and then oh fuck.
Should just like the end or something.
Oh yeah, I mean I get so and I'm like, come on, Audible, like next chapter.
Like you look at it, see if it's glitched.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, oh.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, I gotta press stop.
Oh, that's so funny. I feel that though.
I feel like both of you could do audiobooks and make like so much money.
I definitely think Jorkal could. I don't think I have the radio voice like he does.
Okay.
I really don't think I do.
Okay. Sure. Whatever you say.
Only cat in the hat. Forever cat in the hat. That's so funny. Killing me. You all are just propelled forward, and again you're seeing your party members in these altered states. It doesn't appear like how reality does, like that same feeling of like when you're seeing Azazel's wings and Azazel, you're seeing Zuzu young and full and brimming of magic beyond anything you've seen before. It doesn't look not real. It's more so that feeling of when you're in a dream where you're clearly aware you're in a dream, but it still feels very real. It doesn't take away from the vision of it. But you know it is exactly that. No more, no less.
I like how everyone has crazy wings and iron hearts and dragon wings, and I'm just young.
That's not true. I said a lot of other things outside of you being young.
She's just young.
He's like a frat boy with like a beer keg.
Younger, you're still 45. Younger, you know.
So funny. But yeah, it's like yeah, you're just. It's hard to explain, but you're youthful, but again, you're like teeming with magic. It surrounds you and permeates through you. It's like you're a conduit unto yourself. Glyphs on you and around you. You all, as you propel through and heading towards this openness, this gateway that seems to move and manifest of its own will, or the will of Eloria, more or less. There doesn't seem to be a clear beginning or end, a clear crossing of the threshold. The world seems to just change around you. Aloria is still guiding the way with Zuzu's amulet ahead. More so the amulet guiding and her trailing and you all following behind her in ascension. And it's as if, like, much like a kaleidoscope or binoculars, like the world that seems to be churning inside of this and moving seems to slowly turn into focus. Into something comprehensible. You see another whole world, impossibly so. With trees, mountains, a whole ecosystem, an ocean, water, even the churnings of earth below it, and above trees and mountains beyond, you see a sky. Beyond the clouds, a huge castle. A huge castle made of crystal. Floating almost in emptiness. It is a whole world. And you are passing through the gateway towards it.
That's where we're heading.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
The vision of what you're seeing shifts and seems to come into focus as you seem to, with impossible speed, head directly towards this, and Aloria guiding the way.
I want to cast Detect Thoughts on the goddess. What's her surface thoughts?
Can you ping it for me?
Oh.
Let me see. Sorry. Every time I have to read the... because I remember, like, a person can either... so you just surface thoughts, so she doesn't have to roll anything, I see. Initially, it's like... I'm trying to find a word this. It's not... You don't necessarily get thoughts, you get feelings. Feelings that are woven into thought. You are bombarded with such an overwhelm of feeling that it brings tears to your eyes. Your body doesn't quite know how to comprehend what it's detecting. But you can touch upon something that is tangible, that you can relate, the culmination of these feelings. They remind you of a certain feeling and thought. Hope. She is feeling and thinking thoughts of hope.
Okay.
As you guys almost, again with impossible speed, seem to be moving through and getting closer and closer, it doesn't seem to be a clear destination, but you're heading towards the mountains, it seems. Where she kind of halts in her journey, suspended in air, the crystal in front of her, and you all kind of halt with her, but you seem to continue moving forward after that moment, and she extends her arms open, again still using your necklace, Zuzu, and seems to push with her hands outward, and you suddenly are no longer flying through the air. You are no longer in openness. You are both moved elsewhere. Zuzu and Skad not too far behind you, it would seem. Almost as if you've just been pushed with speed to a new space. When your eyes open again, you almost have to blink a few times to take in what you're seeing. Where you are is clearly in the dreaming. But the mountains and the sky, the colors you're seeing, the life around you, is unlike anything you've seen in, well, the surface world. Everything feels impossible yet tangible. A large river that stretches from edge to edge with forest and cavernous mountains and space. A mist and colored fog. You stand upon the riverbank. Zuzu and Azazel both. Scott and
Wow.
Ellie not too far from you. They seem to be on the opposite side of the riverbank. Bisected by the river between the two of you. Zuzu, if you check your chest, your necklace is there. It glows. It burns.
Burns.
Not painfully. It's just warm. Very warm. Like a warm stone that was near a fire.
What are you trying to show us? I turn to the goddess of dreams.
He's not with you.
I know, but I just, I shout that out.
What did he say?
She has to be able to hear us. I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sorry. I thought you meant like you turned around like that. I was like, I'm sorry she's not there.
staff in hand, he walks and looks at the large river. Just looking at it. And, like, he feels younger. Everyone says he's younger, but he's actually looking at the reflection through the water just to see it for himself. Is the magic still like around him, or is it
What's
faded away?
interesting? Yeah, what's interesting is when you look at Azazel, the wings are gone. Azazel, when you look at Zuzu, he's returned to his older form. However, Zuzu, if you look in the river, you do look young. Your reflection here is different. Azazel, if you do the same, your wings would show.
What are you looking at?
Well, I mean, everyone said I was younger. I just wanted to actually see it. I wanted to know how young. I'm shaved off a few years. My hair's still grey here and there, but other than that, but why are we here?
I think she's trying to show us something.
Well, she could have just asked or said something.
I wonder if she is, in a way.
I suppose.
Does any of this look familiar to you?
I've never seen anything like that. Never even seen the sky look the way it does. This is a whole new... I don't know what it is. Through any of my studies of elves, does any of this hit anything?
Roll me a history check. With your time with the elves, I will give you advantage. Oh my god, this is a repeat
Damn.
of last game. Like, you had the exact same thing to your history check, you had the crit.
Fucking knows it all!
He just whips out his encyclopedia of everything. Actually. I actually know about everything.
Actually, hold on. Yeah, he just sits and almost like thinks for a moment. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're great, The shock of everything is still hitting you, of course. You're processing. This is beyond the senses, beyond so much. Again, metaphysical within a dream. That's never been done by anyone like you, as anyone here. Your wife often spoke of the dreaming. She spoke of the space that she goes in her trance. She would do it every day. She would go into a trance, and while she was no archdruid, you had met and been around an archdruid before. You'd heard her tales and her stories. You'd studied the dreaming, or at least what there could be of it, if not any anecdotal information the elves would share with you. The part of the dreaming that they would describe as the only people that could control where they would be and actually manifest and change and move and need to their will were archdruids. Anybody else doesn't have control over where they are, what happens. That is Aloria's design and her choice. You know where you are, wherever you are. Aloria brought you here for a reason. The dreaming changes, it moves, it alters, and at any time, based on her will. It is up to you to find the meaning in what she's trying to give you. Whatever that may be.
I relay this to Azazel. Again, I ponder. I don't know what she's trying to show us, but as I stated, elves often tranced. I never knew exactly where they went, but they described the sky as they did, as this, the jagged mountains and the lush forest. I wonder if they're here. With no hesitation, still talking to himself as he talks to Azazel, he begins to just walk. He gets along the river, and did the Archdruid or anyone, did he ever say where he goes? Does he like the mountains? Does he like the forest? Does he like the water? If they do have control, he might have a spot that he enjoys.
For the Archdruid you were close to, he was fascinated with the water and how water manifests in dreams. And mountains were a favorite of his as well. But as an Archdruid, it was much more how to describe this? If you're entering the dreaming as an architect, more or less, you come in with an intention. What are you trying to build?
I love food.
What are you trying to find? If he's going simply for release and expansion, he loved the water. If he wanted openness and freedom, he would go to the water. If he wanted to feel structure and safety and strength, he would go to the mountains. Or you could float in another space. You could fly into the cosmos if you wished. It truly is and was only limited by your imagination. While other beings outside of Archdruids are more at the mercy of the dreaming, rather than architects of it.
As Zuzu, mid-conversation just starts walking, Zazel kind of looks around, taking everything in, and follows after Zuzu, but isn't really looking where they're going. They're just kind of taking it all in, clearly in awe. Only knowing where Zuzu's going because you can hear him.
The feeling you feel, Azazel, as you're moving through and you're in this space, it's... Again, I don't know what other word to use except overwhelming.
Mhm.
But not in a negative way, just the same intense force that being in the void and nothingness is with your queen. Now, so many things are coming into focus. It's like as if in your emptiness, how your queen made you, you are able to experience the fullness in many of these, in this space of everything. You have access. You can't control it, but you can feel and experience. Because your queen made you out of nothing to be nothing, you are able now to have the freedom to experience everything and still remain whole. You appreciate the full color. Carry on, sorry.
As we're walking, Azazel's gonna like touch down if there's like a rock and like look so captivated by the rock, almost like they're being taken over by something. And then they're gonna look, you know, at the trees, and again, almost like their body kind of moves in a way it hasn't moved before, and they just look altered. Like their eyes are wide and they're just like this open receiver.
Zuzu, if you observe this, if you look at Azazel in between jumpings, make me a perception check. Nice. In between the scannings of awe, looking around and touching and seeing, if you catch glimpses of Azazel's eyes, their eyes are changing color. Not the black they usually are, but rotating through colors you've never seen before. If you look at their eyes, even from a distance, you can tell they're moving and changing.
Kind of reminds me of those old school things, mood rings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh god, I loved mood rings growing up, man. Bring it back.
Big fan.
Big fan.
Big fan.
I was gonna say, yeah, the both of you probably had one. Yeah, for sure.
Added bonus, it turned your finger green, you know?
Yeah, right? Exactly. That pewter, very cheap shit. Obviously, you wore it. It's just... Oh my god, like, can I crush my crush on me? Put this bracelet on. You like me?
It's green.
Oh my
Mine was
god.
always green.
Is there like a flower or some kind of plant around me?
Oh yes, there is vastness, and if you just think about flowers, your eyes will dart to where some are. You are connected here. You may not be able to make them manifest and burst, but you know where to find them.
Azazel's gonna kind of get down on all fours, just staring at this flower, head kind of tilting down, like their head's rotating looking at it.
Very elven-like.
This is a flower.
Yes, it is.
But not just a flower, you know? It's like the flower.
Yes. You know, elves see great beauty and they get lost in it. Even a flower can say and show you many things. They get lost in the beauty quite often. Now I'm starting to see why. Look around us. Look around us.
I think I get it. Yeah, I think Like there's, it's so full, you know? Like there's just so much. And like, and it's like you zoom in and then there's like a whole world like in the grass. And then you look over there and there's like a whole world happening in that bark. And just, I mean, just in this flower alone, you know, there's just so many pieces and parts of it. There's actually no part that isn't being used, you know? Like, it's so complete. It's so whole.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Azazel's gonna stick their tongue out and taste the flower.
Zuzu raises an eyebrow.
When you pluck the flower, it seems to be some kind of almost a dangling purple, almost looking like dangling purple bells. Small. They smell like everything from bergamot perfume to a fine feast. It just depends on where your heart angles, and it will align to you. But it seems to show you the possibility of any of it and all of it.
Zuzu,
Mm.
here, put your tongue on this.
Alright.
It tastes like every flavor. Right?
I'm tasting ham.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's some perfume too. I smelled on a hookah.
It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Azazel, when you pluck the flower, you see the other flowers around almost seem to react. When you pluck one, somewhere else another emerges. The rest of the stem dies, but the one in your hand remains alive. And roll me an insight check.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Well,
look at us
you guys are
go! Look at
fucking-
us go!
Watch out for you two.
Fucking blessed.
Yeah, let's go. When you do this, and as you're interacting with the dreaming, you can feel the message in your actions. As you pluck this flower and are experiencing all it has to offer, you see the others react, and you see its remnants die, but another is reborn. You see the message here Aloria is giving, why she's changing the dream. She had to have made this happen. The movement, the flavor you experience, everything you're perceiving is her design. In this simple action, she's showing you something. And if you're inside of 22, you can see the message. When one thing is taken, another must be given. Everything has a cost, and everything has a price. When what is taken, another must be given.
Azazel looks up at Zuzu. They're still squatting, by the way, kind of like a frog.
Mm-hmm.
Just like holding this flower with like two of their hands, and they just look up at Zuzu. And with the most like profound tone they can muster, like they've heard God themselves, is just going to relay that message. Like when one thing is taken, another be given.
Where are you? He looks down at the amulet that's still, I guess, hot.
Ironically, when you ask, you look down, your amulet's gone.
Goddamn thief around here.
Hmm? What?
My amulet is gone.
You asked where she was. And your amulet disappeared. And Azazel, before you, your eyes, you see almost Zuzu kind of like ash and particles of mist seeming to not deteriorate but become more porous. As if a vision is slowly changing. Zuzu's slowly disappearing in front of you.
I don't feel so good.
Oh,
It doesn't
yeah.
hurt. But your vision takes over to somewhere else. And Azazel, as you see Zuzu starting to disappear and deteriorate, if you look down at yourself, the same is happening to you. As you become almost a part of the wind.
Zazel just kind of closes their eyes and fully surrenders.
As you become a part of the wind, the forest and the river, the sky, like a moving painting, alters to something else. You see undeniably Aloria, celestial in fullness beyond the ridges of the mountain, the stars in the sky, seeming to pour from an endless... what's the word? Vase. You can see behind the curtain for a moment as you become the wind, her design. How she creates. You both are lost in the wind on either side of the riverbank. And Zuzu, you are being moved and pulled with a familiar energy. Near water's edge, at first. But then you seem to be, as you look at this pouring into this endless river, you're not quite sure how you get from one place to another. It's just so impossible to follow. It is beyond your understanding. But you see endless colors around you, pulled into the mountains. The landscape moving in color. You can see a circular entryway. Again, movement within movement within movement. Just like in dreams, it doesn't seem to make sense to the waking mind. But you accept it nonetheless. You feel the pull of your wife's presence. This almost reminds you of the Autumn Court. The people north in the autumn woods, far along the mountainside of elves. Except the land is this impossible color. It's a reflection of something clearly within your memory and mind, a place familiar, warm, calm. It's a place your wife and yourself, your home is not far from such a place. It's familiar. You see stone etched and circular inviting you, it seems, from one space to another. Your form returned to you. You feel your wife on the other side, or at least her presence. What do you do?
But how far away is she?
You're not sure? You just know she's through. But she's near. You can feel that much.
Hello? I'm sorry I'm late.
You can feel her presence through the archway. She's on the other side, it would seem. You know that much to be true. Like a doorway from a familiar space to somewhere else. And beyond the door is where she is. Do you follow?
Staff in hand, he tidies himself up. Yes. Staff first, he will walk.
Walking through, there seems to be blinding light. Moving through this, it seems like a circular passageway. You're greeted by almost an exaggeration of some of the most beautiful places you and your wife would traverse within the Elven lands. A whole landscape. There's water trickling and moving. Like a babbling brook. Water that almost seems to lead to nowhere. Archways and steps carved from both stone and intertwining wood. With a beautiful pillar at its center. Almost a fountain within the water, made of earth and stone and water. You feel the pull of your wife near the center where this altar is. Was it a tree? Is it a fountain? It's hard to say.
Yeah, Zuzu walks through again. He's, for the most part, he's just taking everything in. The colors, the beauty. He now understands what the elves see when they look at things and how they perceive things. He understands why they trance now. This is where they're at. And yeah, he just draws ever so closer and just continues to walk until he sees her. He points out to Azazel, if he's following still, the small little adventures they had, the small little rocks and trees where they carved their names in when he was younger. He points out all the things, and he begins to describe that this is when they were, these are his memories, their memories. These are the things she still holds and sees.
It's interesting. You can feel Azazel's possibility with you in this space. You are physically alone, but together you are connected. All of you are. do you give permission for Azazel to see and experience as if they were there, what you're seeing and experiencing? Do you open your mind and your heart to that?
Mm-hmm.
And exactly that, Azazel. Wherever you are in simultaneous space, in the dreaming, time does not work the same. Everything is happening all at once. But as if you were next to him. However Zuzu wishes for you to interpret his own experience, you will and do.
These are the memories I gave to Mortana.
Mm.
And here they are.
Can I talk to Zuzu, or am I just an observer?
You may. It's if you open the streamway to each other, you are not physically there, but it's your presence, your consciousness is with him.
Okay.
Voice in his mind. A
And I can
presence.
take everything in?
Yes, like as
Okay.
if you were right next to him. It's pretty much everything except your physical form is not with him.
Got it. Got it. Then Azazel will ask, are we in your mind?
I don't believe it's my mind, but her memories. When she trances, when the elves trance, they see the golden moments of their life. I'm happy that hers match my own, as each and every one of these locations holds so much love, so much passion, so meaningful. They're memories I hold true. I'm glad that she does the same.
Is she here?
I feel her. I don't know if I'm allowed to see her. Maybe once I'm done, or once we're done with this, I'm allowed access to see her. Maybe this is just a small glimpse of... but I don't know.
You recognize this opening archway, Zuzu. It is a similar reflection, not exactly the same, but you feel the memory that's being pulled from your wife. It's an archway when you swore to be with each other for eternity, where you were married in her mind. That union.
Zuzu, he doesn't say anything, but giving Azazel access, he pushes those feelings and memories of almost like putting the images in Azazel's mind of what it was like that day. The weather, the smells, how he viewed his wife, how beautiful she looked, just how perfect that day was, and the joy and smile that she had.
You can feel Azazel's just taking this all in with the same kind of awe and wonder that they did with the flower.
Where it's strange and interesting, if you were in, the physical world, such a vision contrived of, let alone from the elves, normally would bring you just unwrenching disgust, but here it's so opposite. It is like seeing color for the very first time, tasting food for the first time. It's that same level of novelty.
He walks around the pillar, the archway, and he stands where he stood. Exactly where he stood.
And both of you will make perception checks. Bless you.
Sorry.
No, how dare you.
Oh! Oh!
Again, we
Eyes.
we didn't give you the inspirations around after that, recap. You know, if anybody needs one, there's one on the table. I'm just saying, you have an inspiration.
Roll again. Roll again.
You don't have to. You certainly don't have to. But it's it's there. I didn't forget about it. I totally forgot about it. But yeah, I didn't forget about it.
What? What the
Some
fuck?
Florida
No.
shit.
No.
Oh no,
My God.
that is truly remarkable. Double nat ones is, that's something else. But
Oh, well,
Damn.
codes.
you are Zuzu. There's the emotion of this place. Your mind is going places that it's focusing on the memories of this spot, the beginning, possibly in your mind of where everything truly began for you. On your path with love and your wife, taking in her image of this whole space, and Azazel, not burdened with physical form, looking around, you notice something coming towards you. It's not. It might be a person. It flickers, almost like a flame, in and out of manifestation. It almost doesn't seem like it's a part of the area until it comes closer, but you see something clearly walking towards you, opposite of Zuzu, seeing through his eyes.
Who's that?
Who's what?
Look over there.
He turns.
Looking up, your heart almost seems to stop.
Oh.
You seem to forget to breathe, as everything just seems frozen. As you see yourself, what Azazel's expressing to you, coming in and out. It doesn't seem that she can take full form in front of you, but she's walking towards you. Her body almost aflame, almost a mirage. She's wearing robes. Robes you're familiar with from home. Things she would rest or sleep in. As she gets closer, it comes less of a flame and more of full form. But she's silent. She's wearing your necklace. Like a small star walking towards you as it glows. And a swollen belly.
Wow.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad. Not bad, man.
You did pretty good.
In your head, Zuzu, you just hear, oh my gosh.
What did he say?
Oh, like a whisper, oh my gosh. But
Oh.
my mic's not picking up the whisper.
You're pretty good. You see her ears poking through her silvered hair, her eyes mirroring almost a pond at dawn. She walks towards you effortlessly through the foliage. It parts for her, moves along with her, seems to help her in her movement. Until she stands opposite you, much like your wedding day. And she just smiles at you.
I thought I lost you. This is where you've been hiding.
She mildly looks down, almost slightly sheepishly. And roll me an insight check. Nice. You can tell she wants to speak. You can tell she wants to tell you more, connect everything. But something's preventing you from being able to do so with her. You can surmise that you're only able to do so much here right now. Speech may not be possible.
Place of impossibilities and we cannot speak. I find that hard to believe. It is good to see you. I left home, found people traveling through the sands, the dunes, and it put me on a path. I had no idea where you were. I kept following that path until it led me, well, in front of a goddess. And behold, that's what allowed me to come here to see you. Impossible. Strange. I miss you.
You see so much emotion behind her eyes. She starts to cry. She touches the amulet, and almost seeming as if to express through physical motion, where speech and other forms of communication may be robbed from the both of you in this space. Space is not meant for you. You're limited. She can only do so much with you here. She has no archdruid. But even Eloria herself couldn't will that to you. She cannot force something that does not exist. She cannot make the tool the appropriate connecting point. And she touches, your wife touches the necklace and then seems to touch with her lips. And then her hand gesturing out to you. Trying to symbolize something.
He tries to hug her.
She reaches out across to you too, almost immediately. A pained expression on her face. It seems she knows it's going to come with an Insight 18. When you try to grab her, she's just missed. There's no form there. And she kind of buckles forward and seems to cover her eyes. Almost to grieve the fact she can't touch you.
I'll find a way to fix this.
She just kind of silently cries for a small moment.
Oh. We don't need to cry, my love. This is only temporary. You know, I do plan on fixing this.
She looks up and regains herself and seems to have a look upon her face of that knowing, like the, yeah, I know. That reassurance on her face. She kind of gathers herself. She puts her hand on her swollen belly and then another hand on the necklace, and it seems to lift from her to you, going from mist to physical form back to you, returning the necklace to you.
Thank you for aiding me. I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did without your help. I know this is your doing.
You see relief on her face, relief that you understand. She just nods at you.
Yeah, don't you worry, I'm still going through my lessons and the movements and all the things you taught me. I'm still keeping up with my studies, of course. Very... I just, it's just different without you. But I know what I'm working towards. And in the end, I'm working towards getting my family back. For the both of you. And I believe that's what gives me strength to keep moving forward. I have to admit, I was lost at the time. I saw myself no more than a guiding old fool. I'm starting to realize that I'm more important. It's a heavy burden, but it's nothing I'm shying away from. Accepting. Yes, accepting. It's a lot. For the most part, Zuzu is just saying his journey. You know, from meeting the party to meeting the gods to everything they plan on and what they intend to do. And he is emotionally open. He's an open book. So Zazel can feel what he feels and, you know, how he views the party and how he views everyone. He just expresses it to his wife, and whoever's there has access to his, just as he shared his loving memories with Mortano. He's very open in this space.
Azazel just quietly takes it all in. You can kind of feel, though, that Azazel is still very present, actively listening, taking it in. And you can feel, as all this is happening, that Azazel is taking in the image of your wife without any feelings of disgust at all that he's had for elves previously.
That means a lot to Zuzu.
You are all connected through feeling, if not thought. Thought and feeling between you and Zuzu, but it seems as if, again, there's multiple access points that could be had, and you're using what you can. With your wife in the dreaming, you connected with some visuals, feeling, certainly. You can feel her emotions, but you can't hear her thoughts. You're not connected like Azazel and you are. And what you can touch is, well, limited. And she listens ardently. And Azazel, you're just so... with the absence of feeling of disgust, it's just enthralling to see and realistically feel the even just nascent fractures of love, what that must be like in that deep connection, as you experience it through Zuzu. And you're able to hold it. Again, your queen made you an empty chalice so you could hold whatever would come. And you were meant to hold anything. And here it feels possible. Without experiencing yourself firsthand, you feel like you've experienced a lifetime. Their lifetime. As Zuzu shares himself with you and their love and their story. As you conclude your story together, your wife looks to, ironically, a nearby flower and plucks it, holding it in her hand, resting it above her swollen belly. You recognize the message she's giving you, without question, based on the very flowers she chose to pluck. It's a nymphaea flower, near the water's edge. It's a flower that resembles creation. And you know that this is one of the symbolic flowers of Godrun, the Archdruid, your friend. She looks at you with a knowing expectation. She's giving you a message in whatever way she can.
Say that again? She went to go pick up a flower?
Mm-hmm. She went and picked up a nearby flower along the water's edge, and it's a nymphaea flower. A flower that resembles creation. And for you, you don't need to roll anything, because you know this like the back of your hand. This is the flower that resembles Godrun, your Archdruid friend. It's one of his favorite flowers.
Is that where we'll find him?
And she smiles very lightly, and she extends the flower as if to give it to you.
Yes, he will take it. He'll put it behind his ear, in his hair.
She looks up and around her as if there's a change. And she looks at you and smiles and reaches out with a hand to touch your face before she tries to kiss you, even though the touch is, you cannot feel anything. It's like a shadow. And she tries nonetheless.
After the kiss, he will just simply smile, tears streaming down his face, hands clasped over his heart. They stand under the archway where they became one, and one they still are. Thank you. You've given me so many gifts.
You step back after the kiss, and as if to mirror your words and your sentiments, the sunlight seems to break through the trees, and as it touches her, she seems to accept what comes next, where the sun seems to almost move her physical form and peel it away. It seems to transfer in vision into the amulet. And your amulet is warm once again on your neck. She is with you, and you can feel it.
Always. He holds it in his hand and just kisses it. Flower in the other. Where are you, my friend?
Hmm.
What happens next is simultaneously occurring. Two lines parallel, but intermixing all at once. While this is happening, Azazel, what happens to you is also occurring.
Oh.
When you had peeled away, moved, saw Zuzu seeming to disappear into the wind and you more or less disappearing with him, you saw the same image. You saw the same image.
Shit.
Sorry, that was really loud.
Yeah, that's good.
You saw the same image of Aloria. Again, we're going almost, it seems like it's back in time, but it's not. These are all happening all at once. You see the same image of Aloria pouring creation into the river. And while Zuzu seemed to have gone into his own space, do you too, as you go into yours, give him access in the same way Zuzu did you? Do you wish to have him have access to what you see, experience, and feel?
Yes.
And as such, Zuzu, even though you're experiencing in exact real time the fullness of you, and what you've seen, and Azazel experiencing it as well, with the same token, you yourself are experiencing Azazel in fullness of what they're about to experience. Looking at this basin, this river ahead of you, its colors, you see Aloria's pouring into it. Your world shifts. Lost in the shore and in the water. While with Zuzu's, it was bright and colorful, beckoning to him. Yours seems to be an outstretch of cold and oblivion. Far within the water, an opening beyond. You feel a pull. A pull to walk over the water, through. It's familiar. There's something beyond that's so familiar. But it feels impossible. How could they be here? What do you do?
Cecil looks ahead in awe. And they almost seem to be in disbelief, kind of peering ahead. And they feel this ease come over them. Like all of a sudden, it's completely effortless. And they walk forward towards the image.
As you walk forward into the circle of light, almost seeming around and enveloping in the darkness, you see movements and shifts and changes that you know aren't necessarily yours, not necessarily Loria's either. You feel your Galranan loosen. But you feel ease from your queen, rather than a tightening. This is a place she's walked before, and you can feel it. Her dreams seem to be strangely fracturing within your own, bleeding in.
Azazel looks kind of at their hand just to make sure they're still solid, like all here as their Galranan loosens. Just taking in.
Oh, go, sorry.
Just taking in that no shadows are sticking to them, that they're still very present. They kind of look around again. And they keep going.
You don't see her, but you almost feel her walking by your side. It seems almost this place is safe for her to release. And release you too. In walking through, light turns to dark. You are seemingly flipped upside down and plunged deep into a dark, familiar space. Jagged mountains, broken, dead trees. The water that spills from Eloria's basin seems to cut through the vision, connecting the light to the dark, dipping you, transcending you to a familiar space. The water changes color, hinted by the darkness that surrounds you, but it is the lightest of source. It glows, purples and blues. You hear the small teemings of life. Nature shouldn't be here. This riverbank that seems to be trickling from blues and purples down deep just endless canyons. If you follow the river, you come upon a sight not too far away. A woman almost seeming like a shadow, bathing in the water.
Azazel kind of puts their right hand on their chest, not out of protection, but just making contact with their skin. Their mouth hangs open as they look at the figure of a woman. And almost reaching out to Zuzu, in Azazel's mind says, I feel like I know her.
is it? Ooh.
I'm not sure, but my body knows her. And I'm imagining that Zuzu, you'd be open to kind of what Azazel's feeling, and there's a warmth that's like coursing through their body, and this extremely pleasant tingling sensation at the back of their neck, and there is a feeling of space, like it's easier to breathe, and all the tension kind of just like falls out of Azazel's feet. And Azazel will slowly walk forward.
Walking forward, each footstep seems to glow, bioluminescent, light within the darkest of spaces. There's a feeling of familiar upon familiar, but a newness. A way of seeing things you know, completely anew to you. The landscape reminds you of home, the woman even more so, something beyond that. As you approach, it's merely the light from almost the waterfall caressing from behind her, that she seemed a shadow of black. As you get closer, she seems to be, again, arching her back, bathing her hair in this light. Again, the water, as you're looking closer, almost doesn't seem to be water. It doesn't run off of her like water. She brings out her hair and she tilts her head towards you. All too familiar silver as moonlight eyes. As she stands, a knowing smile on her face, and clothes seeming to almost manifest on her, initially naked, but clothes slowly starting to, almost like by pure thought, slowly coming into being as she walks through the water towards you as you're on the bank. You can barely believe your eyes.
You. How are you here?
She just smiles very mildly at you. But you hear her voice in your head. It is good to see you as well, Azazel.
As Azazel hears their name, their vision kind of sharpens. Like all of a sudden their gaze is very penetrative, and their movement kind of starts to be a bit wolf-like. As more of their natural state kind of comes forward, they kind of tilt their head and they're just really taking her in, like on a sensory level, and they slowly kind of work their way close to her. And Azazel will, if she allows, come up and smell her neck.
Like in perfect symphony in unison, she moves in similar gait as you. Her body turning equally almost primal. An echo of a dance you know too well with her, deeply. She almost seems to circle, you seem to circle around each other in a single loop, maybe two, your heads lightly tilted. And your necks, her smelling you, you smelling her, joining together in greeting. She smells like life itself. Everything you remembered her to be and more. Much more.
You feel different.
As do you. Her hand goes on your chest. Her head kind of, tilted into your neck as she looks up at you. Her eyes are just piercing. As she just continues to smell at your neck, but not breaking eye contact.
Azazel will gently their fingers in her hair. They're staring at her back as her reflection is kind of mirrored in the blackness of their eyes. And Azazel's movements become very graceful, almost fluid-like, as they gently press the side of her arm and kind of her collarbone, and almost like they're really observing her shape and her outline, like they're taking her in, observing, comparing the version of her that existed in their mind to what's in front of them.
Make me a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for making that perception check.
Okay. I gotta be. Ah, fuck! Ah, fuck! No! I was rolling so good. What kind of fucking.
I think you could rock that, Elizabeth. That what she's wearing.
Oh, thank you.
I think you could rock that.
Oh, oh! I gotta go shop. I gotta go shopping. I would wear some shit like this every day. I feel so seen.
100% me too. I would, yes. I love the almost like the very loose corset design of the
Yes.
of the belly. Oh, yes.
Yes. I rolled like a poop.
Oh, okay. 10 is not okay. 10 is less terrible than people think. It's kind of it really just depends on the DC. But you know what? Honestly, with the circumstances, give me one more roll for advantage.
Yes.
You're so close to her, and this is an emotional connection we're dealing with here. Oh shit. Okay, nice. And again, Zuzu, before you get too mad, there's a reason why Hazel's able to talk to her in her head, so and they're able to communicate. So don't get mad at me. I swear to God, there's a reason.
I'm not saying anything.
I know. I just feel low-key bad. It's fine. I'm like, I'm sorry. There's a reason. I swear to God.
Just waste the spell slot.
With a 22. You not only feel that she's more, but in a way you can't place. It's not something clear to the physical eye, but you feel it nonetheless. You also see one of her eyes. It's almost fractured, but you can't. The light's still coming through just fine, like normal, as those in the Mylicin tribes, when they've accepted their god power and gotten their god names. You know their eyes glow. She's covered in those glowing runes and tattoos. I mean, the picture does not allude to that, but imagining that they're permeating through her like they normally would, but they're brighter than before. She's different. You can see that. You can feel it. More than what she was. But also, it seems to have come with a price that you also can't put your finger on.
As Hazel will gently caress the side of her eye. What happened here?
Puts her hand on your hand, and you don't need an inside check to see this. There's sadness in her face. The price I gladly paid for freedom.
Freedom. From your people?
And even beyond that. This is why I'm able to be here. You willed me into existence. She just smiles at you.
I brought you here?
She almost seems to look next to you as if someone's standing there, with a light smile on her face. But if you turn to meet where her gaze is, you don't see anything.
Who do you see?
You feel her too. She leans in, again almost predatory, like she's kind of lightly smelling the side of your face. As she says that. And the minute she almost speaks of it, you feel your patron near you. You can't see what she sees, but you feel what she feels. You feel the Raven Queen near you.
It feels like you both have met.
Well, you were there when we did. And the manner of speaking.
Hmm. Hazel takes a deep breath, almost smelling the air. Hmm. You've been traveling.
Yes.
Have you gone back?
I've tried. And succeeded.
Hmm.
But each time it is so much. Sometimes I cannot control it.
What do you mean? You cannot control it.
I cannot control when I'm there. She pulls me there. And waves unexpected. Sometimes fully, other times partially. But it seems it is the price I pay. It is her gift. It is how I'm here. She looks again to your side, back to you. It seems it is your dream as much as hers. You are her child, and I. She seems to pause for a second, but looks back at you as you speak.
You do this, and kind of caresses her eye again.
Azazel said, "It is."
Azazel said, "Did she do this?"
Oh, I see. Her hand goes back on your hand, looks up at you, and you see a light shake in her head. No. And with a very knowing look, she tells you, she would never be so cruel. My people did this to me.
I'm sorry.
And you just can feel her smelling you. You can feel her just seeing you fully and taking you in. You've never felt so one with a person before.
Azazel will just stare deeply into her eyes and lean down to kiss her.
You do, and again, you're tall. She's tall too, but it's a perfect height, a perfect union. And you kiss. And when you kiss, when you normally can sometimes feel the heartbeat of a person, when your lips touch, you feel two heartbeats. Almost two heartbeats somehow in her lips. It's hard to put to words. After you kiss, she just looks at you. In your mind, you hear again, we're able to see each other again soon.
I'll look for you.
And you hear her in your head again, but it sounds like two voices. Your Raven Queen and her. There are endless worlds out there. And we will see them all.
Azazel will just put their forehead to hers and share in a deep breath.
In her breath, you can not only smell her, but feel every part of her, just her strong, lithe body. You remember she's a warrior, commanding of psychic energy in her tribe.
Azazel.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Just feeling that as like a kind of a amused smile comes across Azazel's face.
She looks up at you, just eyes milky and radiant. And she'll just grab you for another kiss.
Azazel will really go for it this time. Unhinged.
Oh, yeah. Much like memories past, it's ferocious and thirsty, hungry.
Oh my.
Azazel will like claw at her back, and it gets very kind of animalistic, and there's growling and like, and
Snarls back.
and then he'll just kind of be like squeezing her with all their strength.
Seems to just grip you. Your claws almost seem to tear off the... It seems almost imaginary clothes that are on her. They seemed not even real to begin with. The flesh beyond it. She
I
wraps
forgot.
around you.
I forgot what this felt like. I don't have to worry about hurting someone.
You can never hurt me. Because I want it all.
Zizu will go in for one more kiss. It feels right, feels right.
Oh yeah. She won't say no.
Mm-hmm.
We can definitely fade to black on that kiss because it will lead elsewhere.
Great. You know, they have a
Clothes
moment.
ripping off. Yep, they have a moment. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Very primal and smelly and visceral. Animalistic. So it's just like, holy shit. Okay.
And Zazel's staying open, man. You're privy to all of this.
This is now a dream and not a toi, darling. But in throes of this passion, there's again that degree. It's not chosen by you, but it's a forced separation. And the last thing you see, really, from pulling away from feeling her and connecting with her, it seems weirdly like endless light. In her eyes, even one that's fractured, almost seeming hard to see fully. Even you can't see into it or read from it. The last sense that seems to fade is the smell and touch of her, the sight and form and going away, almost seeming within the river, drowning out. Her words echo in your mind that you will see each other again soon. And the Raven Queen and her voice together in your mind, echoing above and beyond that of the endless worlds that you will see together. As you all seem to kind of assimilate and return. Return to the same flatland within the mountains and the cosmos. The first thing you hear upon returning back and seeing one another, you hear just screams and weeping from across the river. And you see Ellie has collapsed in sobs, and Scott next to her, trying to comfort her. The two of you on the opposite side of the bank. She seems to be in a moment as you two are kind of reorienting and recovering yourself from your own shared visions, your own shared... You don't know what that was.
I have to find this GIF.
Go for it, take your time. If you want, we can take a quick break.
Because this... this is basically what Azazel would look at Zuzu with.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That energy.
There's that. I love that. That's so funny. It's very on brand for Azazel, so I can see it and feel it. You kind of come back, materializing back. You're not sure how you got there, but both of your visions and your experiences happen simultaneously, and also mutually able to revel and experience in one another as you both come out of each. Azazel almost seeming still out of breath, your heart still racing. You feel her scent, or you feel her body and smell her scent on you still. And Zuzu, you feel it as if it were your own. And Azazel, you still feel that depth of connection, that love and tenderness, the sorrow of loss, and the hope of returning that Zuzu felt. A lifetime. His lifetime. It still seems to reverberate in the air.
Yes, breathe.
She's pretty great, huh?
Amazing. Beautiful. Words cannot describe.
Azazel just kind of looks smitten. It just kind of... You know, that kind of like cigarette after moment?
Yeah. God, yeah, that's good for you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Should we,
Go ahead.
should we go check on them?
As you guys walk over towards the water, you're struck with a feeling of choice. You look at the water, these thoughts above in your head. Above or below as you approach the water? What do you choose?
Zazel will pick below.
Both of you do? When you both actively choose this in your mind, when you go to the water, instead of sinking into the water, you seem to be flipped upside down inside of it, seeing the world from a mirror opposing, walking along the water rather than swimming through or across it. Rather than walking on water, you're walking underwater. Seeing the reflection of the world you're in. As you get to the bank, you're propped up and through, returning you to the above world. For a fraction of a moment, an inversing. A manifestation of how to get from one place to another. A choice. While you may not control what manifests with you and around you, you can control how you interact with it. You see Ellie on the other side as you come through and sobs unconsolable. And Scott not really sure what to do. As you approach.
Are we all wet?
Nope. Not wet at all.
Was there anything underneath the water? Like swimming or?
It was like you were literally reflected like a mirror upside down. So instead of walking across the water, walking underwater, you were able to look up and through.
It's like upside down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was there anything in the water though? Like
Much like...
animals?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Got it. Yes. Different life forms, fish, foliage, strangely color and light, almost like Aurora Borealis in water. Strafing and moving through. You seeing almost the pulse of magic. Like the very river and the vein that Aloria pours into. You see that. And the upside down. And this mirror image. But may not have been privy to above the water.
Yeah, he says he says a prayer to the god of water. I forgot his name. God damn it! I thought I had it written down.
Lear.
Yeah, Lear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he almost speaks his name and shouts underwater to see if you could just even hear him. He does so and kind of just his hand kind of flowing out, and he actually does pull the flame out underwater to see if it does anything. As he calls his name over and over again. He doesn't know, maybe God's dream.
You actually do know, because Martano told you. He told you gods do indeed dream. Calling out to Lear underneath, as you see this as you're traveling underneath as well and walking, you see Zuzu pull out the flame, and that very almost Aurora Borealis of light that was its own current. Instead of moving through as it was, it seems it's directing towards the flame of the Erlen as a conduit, like through it and out, almost like how a crystal refractals light.
Mm.
You see its connection here, and calling Lear and connecting as best as you can. There's almost a psionic pulse, or a seismic pulse, ripples in the water. And those swimming creatures that were swimming almost seem to be drawn to the flame, almost like a lure.
We're fishing for gods.
Huh?
I said I'm fishing for gods. The biggest bait.
You feel the movement of the water shift. You feel it change. Almost like a response. An echo back. The fish and the wildlife seems to be broken from their trance of your flame and return to the waters. But the reflecting light remains out of the flame.
It's almost like a ritual. For Zuzu, it's a ritual of thanks. Something something the elves do as they respect all the gods, the air, the water, the forest, and everything. Even traveling in the dreaming, going through the water, he feels that he should respect it and give thanks. And so that's what his ritual is, as he pulls out the flame and calls his name.
Roll me an insight check. With a 10, you can feel whether the message is received or not. You're not sure. But you feel, at least, if not for a moment, something was communicated. Something moved. You feel that shift and change. But what it is, you're not quite sure.
Okay.
You continue to walk. Is there anything you'd like to say or do while you see this? Or do you continue?
Just continue.
Coming upon the bank's end, again, you're met with a sobbing Ellie and a Scott unsure of how to comfort her or what to do. You see almost a strange, dark film surrounding her. Not like she's been dunked into anything, but more just she's not teeming with the light of this place, like as if her sorrow or her tears are clutched to her, sticking to her.
What is it? What did you see?
She's kind of seems to be choking on the word I as she looks at you. Almost like a pleading. Sorry.
Mimi steps over to the side of her. It almost pulls the four of us together, almost like in a circle, joining one another. What are you sorry about?
She seems to almost recoil at your touch, like she's afraid. No. Don't. And you can almost hear around you a cracking sound. Like all around you. This just deep crack. Deep within almost ice. And beyond that, earth. And you feel almost the air and the dreaming in your space change. It becomes harder to breathe. And you hear one large breath. And you know who it is. A breath of exhaustion. Of an expendedness you can't place. Just, crack. As Ellie almost seems to try to recoil from you guys.
Whatever it is, we can do it together. He holds his hand out.
She looks up at you, and it seems almost before she can reach for your hand, you just feel almost the ground below you just get pulled out from under you. The dreaming shooting above you, as it seems you're being transported forcefully.
Oh. Am I falling?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Azazel, don't touch it.
All of you guys, it seems like in this circle, kind of holding each other in a huddle. And you just seem to plummet through earth, through water. Again, you feel forcefully transported. You feel Aloria's presence all around you. You feel the sense of urgency in this journey. As you're being pulled and pulled, there seems to be crystals, almost like an encasement surrounding either side of you, and cylindrical. As the dreaming above you from where you came just seems to disappear further and further and further above you, as if you're dropping into an endless well. And below you is just blackness. You are clearly in a state of transit and transport. But it was unexpected. It was aggressive. Urgent. Azazel, you almost feel a sickening feeling overcome your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Your throat tightens. Both of you in this space can feel almost the panic. As much of a god could panic. She needs to get you to safety. It's taking all her strength to just keep this open for you.
Almost, sort of like a free fall out of an airplane. Zuzu straightens his body, staff forward, and dives deeper, trying to make himself go faster. He's just staff forward and just pointing forward and just almost like diving, like as fast as he could, fast as he can.
Susie, you can dive ahead. Azazel, you see this, and the feeling of constriction around your neck, a thirst, a strangeness. You can tell that whatever's down there in the blackness, that's where your grip's coming from. You see Zuzu plunging towards it.
Azazel will grab their throat and they'll go after Zuzu.
And kind of propel yourself as best as you can. Do you say anything to him?
Can I? Is my throat like too fucked up?
No, you're good. You're good. So it's like
Okay.
you can feel the same thing like where it's hard to swallow. Like it's like someone's like gripping. I'm gonna like mimic it like someone gripping your throat. Like oh god.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still talk. It's just hard.
Zuzu,
Hmm.
there's something down there.
Why do you think I'm plunging forward into it? We meet it face on, head on.
Prepare yourself. It's him.
You hear these noises and voices, Azazel, in your head as the grip just keeps tightening around your throat. And the smell of blood and iron is just all around you.
Azazel clenches their teeth as we're all falling, and you hear, like, with the most disgusted sound in their voice, they say, "Sir Soul."
And Zuzu, roll a perception check. And Azazel.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Azazel, you're kind of getting choked a bit, and
Mm-hmm.
you're picking up the senses of something all too familiar. Focusing on being able to breathe and registering what this means. Zuzu, hearing the words of Azazel, you look in the blackness as you're kind of piercing through the darkness at speed. You see figures in the distance of the black. There's 4. 4 to match your own, it seems. One seems humanoid? From this distance, it's hard to say. They're quite far off, but they're closing in fast. Others seem more beast-like in form. You see them coming.
Yeah, I mean, Zuzu is still diving, still knowing who he's facing, knowing who he faces. As he dives and believes he's still in the dreaming, he snarls and magic swirls around him. Show me your dreams so I can crush some new bastard. He's just like racing down, like he has this new inspiration, I guess. You know, he knows what he's supposed to be doing. And he seems to want to take it on head on as he dives at it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just dying like, show me your dreams so I can crush it, you foul beast. Like, he wants to know what the god of this type of god dreams of so he can crush it.
I will curb stomp your dreams to the ground. Mock me, motherfucker! I will come for your bitch ass!
Fuck me!
Mock me! I've got a wife and kid at home, don't fuck with me!
Seeing Zuzu's newfound inspiration, Azazel's gonna kind of pull themselves together, kind of returning to that kind of mindful state that they used to inhabit all the time. And the closer that we get, the more and more distance Azazel has from their emotions. Like a blank, void look in their eyes comes over them.
With sheer determination and a overcoming with both of you, inspired from one another, and your own recent experiences, you both seem to propel downward. Ellie seems to be trying to process what's happening, and there's fear in her, clearly. Scott, seeing both of you, he's caught in the middle. Wanting to comfort her, but also face whatever comes. And both of you roll me other perception checks.
Haha!
How the turns table.
We're just flipping.
Zuzu, you're blazing with this determination. You've seen what's coming. You want to face it. There's no question. You need not see more, understand. You don't. Doesn't matter. You know what comes. That's all that matters to you. Azazel's things come into focus. You see more as they get closer and closer who they are, what they are. And your heart sinks. It couldn't be. You see a blonde-haired young beauty, along with 3 other grotesque monstrosities of Circe. Ones you yourself have not had the pleasure of fighting, but know too well about. This beautiful being that floats among them and just pierces through at high speed. An elegant body. Youthful. Blood upon the fingers and eyes just piercing red. One from the Crimson Court themselves. He seems to recognize your recognition, and he is delighted by it.
Azazel just looks him in the eye with this black void behind them.
He smiles and you see the fangs on him. He's so far away, but it's as if you could see him in your mind. Closing in. Closer and closer so fast, the both of you, both your teams just on par for collision. And his voice just like nectar. My master cannot wait for something ever sweeter will have his taste. Try not to die. We'll pause here for a couple minutes for a potty break.
Oh!
Drink break.
Oh, fuck yes. Okay.
I'm back.
Woohoo.
Can you see the map okay?
Huh?
Can you see the map okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ooh, a crystal crevasse.
Yeah, right?
Wait, are we gonna... Wait a minute. Are we about to have a fight as we are falling through space and time?
Maybe.
Fuck.
Wait.
Oh no.
Fucking Oloria's like ejectocito.
Ejecto. Ejecto. Momo.
Escape. Like, oh, fuck. Now.
Jesus. Ooh. Well, fuck. If our spells now act wonky, like up is down, down is up, I'm about to be like, the fuck?
No, I would never do that to you. That is
Okay.
that's some next level Inception shit. That'd be a fucking brain aneurysm.
Like, oh fuck.
It's just really the only caveat is taking movement into consideration. But I've made it to where it won't be too confusing. I'm hoping.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Good thing I'm a caster, you know, it kind of doesn't matter where I am.
Pretty much. The melee's just gonna straight up not have a great time. This is straight up not a good time for a fucking melee. This is like, this is cancer!
Oh my god, Scott just can't get his bearings, just tumbling all over the place.
Oh, God. You know what I mean? Alright, we all back.
Mm-hmm.
As this being continues to move forward, you see the other beings alongside him close in. And it's just this overwhelming, just, ugh. From you, Azazel. You've only heard of these creatures, seen them in the distance. But you yourself have not had contact with them.
Ugh. Oh. Oh, fuck.
As this blonde-haired beauty seems to move through space, you hear his voice again. And Zuzu, you can hear it too. My master demands a taste. And a taste I will grant him. For I am his. You hear a snarl at this last word. This animalistic. Resplendent. I need y'all to roll me initiative.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, shit, it's been a minute.
Oh yeah, it's been a hot minute, so, you know, feel free to take your time.
Remind me how to roll initiative.
Totally. So click on your token first, and then from your character sheet, then click initiative. You have to click your token first before.
That's right. And then character sheet.
Mm-hmm. Click token, then character sheet, then initiative.
There we go.
Do the same for Ellie and Scott.
Oh, fuck. 3 of those fucks?
Yeah, for a total of 4.
Oh, God.
God. Damn! Come on, man, Ellie. You got +3 initiative. You're hurting me.
Oh, my God.
Let me get Scott's in there as well. Watch him roll like a nat 20.
Oh, my God.
Oh, sorry, that's all the GM. He got 16.
Okay.
It's not terrible. Seeing all this unfold, you just see this beautiful being move towards you and piercing through this blackness. And these grotesque, huge, bat-like humanoid creatures that are flying at impossible speed. You can feel the strain of the environment as much like a virus that has permeated a body. Aloria's fighting this invasion, but it's taking all of her damn strength to keep you guys intact moving through here. Keeping the space open for you to even be here. You feel the strain, the environment around you. Someone seems to be taking advantage. Scott, witnessing this pull, these beings flying forward, watching you guys dart down, he darts down towards and with them, with you. With both of your wills and desires to propel towards each other, we can move towards when we're close enough to be able to make contact. Time seems to move and slow down. As much like how you can control your body to pierce faster, you can do similarly to slow down. And Scott, seeming just full of anger, coming down. Both of you roll me perception checks. Zuzu, you're trying to make sense of these beings and who's coming and preparing yourself. You see them coming towards you. And Scott just blazing past, meeting head on with all the aggressive fervor of the Mylistan blood deep within him. And Azazel, even with your 10, you can tell through it just a mere feeling. There's a delight in this.
Oh, God. Azazel's gonna kind of yell out to everybody, "Don't let them bite you."
Oops.
It seems just like with a smirk. The Torakai, ones you know of myth, really, Azazel, directly. These ascended chosen. You see him ascending so fast. And he just draws a beautiful, perfectly crafted longsword at his side in preparation. The Scott comes towards him. He seems to have the bat creatures in front of him. He knows he can't go right towards them. So on his turn, he moves to almost seeming create a way to distract them. And attacks the one to his right. You see him raising his maul, lightly glowing, his eyes and tattoos just lighting up as he enrages himself in a fury. And attacks the one to his right. The first one, as he comes down, just kind of blinded in rage, comes down and does not make contact, seeming to anticipate that first throw. But Scott is quick, and he sees where it darted to, and he's able to strike true on the second cleave. Give me one moment. Would it be helpful for you guys if I labeled them as far as like their colors?
Sure.
Yeah, just so we can distinguish which one got hit, which one didn't.
For sure. Let me do that really quick. So Scott had hit pink.
Okay.
For 16 total points of damage. That's Scott's turn. So calculate things, I can't do math. Seeing Scott move forward in the bloodlust of it all, you see the drawn blade as the Torakai seems to just fly closer. And almost seeming to extend his hand as if to resist himself, like a savoring moment. He just seems to smile and close the gap. He wants this to be personal.
Yeah.
And he just raises his sword, long and piercing, silvered and beautiful. And you just see his teeth gleaming with it. Hitting the first and not making it, you see Scott occupied, but seeing that close in, he's able to move out of the way. And the second one, even though it seems the Torakai is determined this will hit, Scott is quick, even though occupied. And it seems in a furied anger. He's got Scott where he wants him for one final attack. And you just see his teeth extend, his eyes almost rolling in the back of his head like a shark. But his bite misses.
Oh.
Even though Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Even though Scott is swarmed by 3, technically, Scott knew who the real threat was coming in. And he's able to dodge him in his 3 attacks. You see his eyes roll back to normal, and you see almost amusement in their eyes. Their teeth glistening despite their miss. Zuzu, what are you saying? Or do you have a question?
Oh, no. I'm good.
Azazel, it's your turn.
Ooh. Azazel's going to cast Armor of Agathis on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And math question, if I cast this as a 4th level spell, that would be...
It's 5 points per level, so you'd have 20 point extra, like, temporary hit points, and you also conduct 20 points of cold damage to anybody who hits you.
Okay, so I have plus 20.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
How would you describe this looks as you're, like, seeing all this unfold in front of you and casting this on you?
So, as Azazel is, like, falling through kind of, like, space and time, as they cast Armor of Agathis, it's as if shadows kind of, like, are just emerging, and this beautiful armor envelops their whole body. And it's made of shadow, and it's has that kind of steel kind of coldness. Like it doesn't ever look like ice, but it's just that like steel shadowy appearance. and it covers their whole body. It's kind of like filigree everywhere. And on top of that, as their armor kind of like comes on and is visible to everybody, they're gonna look at the Mr. Blonde dude here and point their finger and cast Hexblade's curse on them.
The Totokai, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
And because of this, does our movement change at all? Like rate of movement or?
Not necessarily. You would be moving. It's like as if you're floating in state. Like you know how you kind of like in the sky can dive towards each other, but like when you're next to each other, you know, you're kind of like dangling there in stasis, but you're still moving. Like you're falling through the sky, falling through time and space. So if you make it to them, you'll be with them.
Okay. Azazel's just gonna move over there. I think. I think that's yeah. Okay. 1, 2, yeah. And they're just going to again with that same kind of like stoic stillness, just kind of mean mug the Torakai, but they say nothing, and their face gives away nothing.
Again, seeing them close up, they're just etched in beauty. And it's just, you've heard tell of them in these forms, and you've heard of the select few that are. And it's just, the choking feeling is just all too apparent where it's coming from.
Him!
This beach!
Fucking you! And that'll be my turn.
Ellie just seems to be taking this all in, and at first there seems to be an overwhelm of guilt on her face. Which then swiftly turns to this determination and almost an anger. As she sees who's trying to bite Scott and who Scott's trying to part the way for. She lifts up her crossbow, and you see it light brightly, and she blasts Scott with it. And she casts haste on him. Mark his token if he has it. And you just see almost this like electrified vault go through Scott and just inject into his veins. Already his tattoo is swirling in gold. You see this draconic like glow on him, just now injected further with this blue irradiant light. And she seems to almost cock her gun again, but keeping her distance. Even though she was feeling so much before, she's trying to, it seems, redirect towards the fight. And seeming as if on command, you see the Totokai in the middle look to either servants that are around Scott, and he lifts his hands forward as if commanding them to move forward, surrounding and flying. You see them move with absolute ease, just surrounding him. The first one, again, their wings as they get closer, they're huge. These are truly just stretching and moving. Even though we're falling, their wings are helping them. And you see Pink seem to open its mouth and then shriek. in the direction of Scott. And you just, even though it's not directed at you, you can hear it. It echoes in your head. Your eardrums just feel like they want to burst.
Oh, fuck.
The first one strikes true, seeming to almost want to push Scott back. And seeming almost with this push, the other Norgoro is behind him. And the second one, as if his ears just couldn't take any more, doesn't seem to hit him as strongly. The other, though, behind him, wastes no time, as Red does the same, shrieking into his ear, as if taunting him, playing with their food. And both don't strike true. Scott seems to be pushing through, ignoring the sounds, trying his best to. He will not submit. The one in front of him, though, sees his determination and will try nonetheless. Sound to push him back, but again, it does not strike true. He tries with something different. And he succeeds. You see the scream and the shriek of the one in front of him, and it doesn't work. He seems to be pushing back away. But as in his moments of trying to push it back, and then Norgoro just reaches out his talons and just sinks it into Scott, and then you see these horrific fangs come out of it and bite him in the shoulder. And Scott just shrieks. Even though it doesn't take much damage, the pain is truly there. God, it's your turn. Oh, Scott, sorry. Oh, hang on, what the hell? Oh, why'd the thing go up there? Meant to be Zuzu, your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Why did it do that? I'm sorry.
It's fine. I know it's my turn.
Ah, there we go. Okay, now it's your turn.
How does the melee work, you said?
You guys are falling, and so, imagine it like, so technically you can like, you're moving as if you're like right next to each other if you want to be, if you're moving parallel with them, but if you want to like, because there's no space below you, if you want to like, dive below them and go under them or go above them, you can. And so it works like that.
Alright. Use my bonus action to do my blade song, so he'll sort of grab on to his hilt, and he will dive past them. Like, he's just gonna continue to dive past them, and then he's going to almost like open, kind of like a squirrel, like a flying squirrel, kind of like up to meet them. And when he does, he is going to cast Still Wind Strike. So he's going to attack all four of them. This will be the pink one. This will be the green one. This will be the red one. This will be... Is he sleeping? What is that?
He's got Hexblade's Curse on him.
Okay, we'll do that one on him.
Alrighty.
I don't know if any of those hit.
No, totally, I got you. So the first 3 hit, the last one misses. So the top one you said was pink?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other one?
It goes pink, green, red.
Okay, give me one moment.
Yeah, so he dives past and then just spirals back upwards, and then like each one he'll just strike, and he'll end his turn here.
Perfect. Yeah, then. Ending math things. And the last one you said was on the Torakai, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, hitting all of his warriors and all of the winged-like beings, you strike all of them true, and they seem to have this strange shriek. Something humanoid yet bestial. As all of it strikes true, but then the Torakai sees what you're doing, and then with a light, soft smile, he seems to see you coming as he puts his blade almost behind his back and just moves to the side as you move past him. And there's a moment shared between the two of you. You see his crimson eyes look at you as you look at him. And you move past him.
Yeah, in that instance, he'll then, I guess, just in a blink of an eye, he disappears, and he'll appear where he is now.
Mm-hmm. Give me a second to put their actual health. Then roll 20 is so much easier that way, rather than writing down the math.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Also, my roll 20 is being quite slow.
You know, there's real argument that this is the most efficient website.
Yes, I've heard. I've
Yeah.
heard that this is actually quite the tell. You know what I mean? There we go. Perfect. Alrighty. He'll return to Scott's turn again. Now he's hasted. And he focuses once again on trying to carve a path for everyone. He knows he's surrounded. As long as they're on him, his eyes turn to the Torakai as he pushes again. Raged and hasted.
Oh.
And he just unleashes on him. All of this with each strike seeming to please him. As he struck again and again. Right, sorry. And he strikes him for quite a bit of damage. a good chunk.
A dent in there, you know.
But with each strike, you see this glide from Scott and this hasted, electrified, almost energy coursing through him as he's just filled with rage and filled with magic given to him by Ellie. Even though these strikes are landing true, you see these cuts, you see these wounds cutting into him, cutting into the man ascending through space with you. And you just see him throw his head back and some laughter is in between strikes. There's delight there. And you see in the same spots where some that Scott had struck, you see start to heal. His wounds healing before your very eyes.
Oh, Jesus.
And he just seems to breathe as that happens. As if it was as easy as breathing. And he looks at Scott as he just almost seems to lick his lips. It's so subtle. But you see him almost push his knees into him in the chest. As his hand seems to strike up and his fingernails elongate. The other bats and his beings around him seeming to assist in the pushing and pulling of him.
Oh.
He just strikes into him, the claws cutting into him. And then seeming to flip him again to expose his neck, he will bite. Again and again.
Oh, no.
Oh god.
Fuck.
You hear a different kind of scream from Scott this time.
Oh, shit.
Before it was a scream of, more like a grunt, a yell of discomfort. This time it seems like it pierces through his lungs, his heart. And you see him almost catch his breath. You see the wounds on the Turukai heal further. As his teeth make contact and he drinks.
Oh, God.
You see the runes that are golden and shining usually on Scott's skin start to fade, that are closest to the bite as it spreads. One bite isn't enough. He lifts up his head in just absolute ecstasy. His eyes rolling back. And you just see the greed on his face for more as he bites down again. And you see a smile on his face after he bites a second time, almost seeming to kick himself off from Scott. Scott will try to attack in his delirium. In retort. Blood going down his neck. He will strike. But barely enough for what his blood provided. As you just hear a small laughter and chuckle as blood is just streaming down his mouth. I'm doing math things. It's gonna take me a second because he's raged too, so I have to cut everything in half. You see the wounds on him almost fully heal. Scott is seeming to choke on his own blood in his throat. And all of you roll me a perception check.
Yes.
You can tell that something's happening within Scott. It's like a... You can see fear in his face. as the runes seem to start to fade and this almost his veins blacken from the bite on his neck.
Fuck, is he turning?
Delicious. I never thought I'd taste celestial blood. What a treat. What beauty to serve my master. You could, too. As his hand kind of goes up, covered in blood as well, licking his fingers as Azazel, it's your turn.
Oh, fuck no. Absolutely not. Okay. Zazel's going to cast Eldritch Blast on the Torakai.
Go for it.
Twice?
Yes, twice. Nice. The first one, and with the Hexblade's curse on him, does even more damage. You just feel the surge of hate and anger from your queen course through you as you just gather this ball of dark energy from her and fly it over towards him. And it strikes true, and you hear a high-pitched shriek like as it strikes him in the shoulder. Seeing your next one come on, though, he's able to move out of the way.
Ugh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you do have favored foe, yes?
Yes.
Would you like
Oh.
to put that on him?
Yes. I always forget about favorite foe. Oh,
I
here
do
it is.
all the fucking time, trust me.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so roll me an extra d4 on the one that did hit. Just that one d4.
Yep. And...
So you hit him for a total of 13 damage.
Okay. Okay, I'll take it. Seeing the one that missed, Azazel's just going to snarl, "You filth," to this guy.
He seems to bite his lips.
And yeah, that'll be my turn.
Perfect.
By the way, if Scott's about to turn, I will take a party member out.
Like, I will fucking murder him. I will kick his ass.
I will take Fido out to the back 40.
I will, was old yeller his ass. Ellie's seeing this unfold. Oh, God, she's watching all of this, and she'll propel her crossbow to life. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the actual arcane jolt is what it's called. She's going to imbue it with extra magic and shoot the Torakai twice. Both striking. And with those, on top of it, they'll take an extra 2d6 of damage of the arcane jolt. You'll see an extra, like, with it. An extra 12. And then she will look to Scott and, with the arcane jolt, heal him for 2d6. You just see this almost electrifying jolt course through and hit the Torakai, and you see this look of shock on his face, like he hasn't experienced this kind of energy hit him before. He doesn't know what this is. But it does strike him thoroughly. And his eyes just dart right to Ellie. But then Junebug will join right in. So I need to add him to the turn order. But he's right after Ellie. Even floating in stasis, this little fawn's gonna put in fucking work. There we go. Ellie just went. Now it is Junebug's turn. Junebug, being the ever-protector and truly terrified of all these things that are swarming Scott, he's going to move forward, and as, you know, Ellie's bonus action to tell him to attack. He can. Hit the button. There we go. And he does strike. He does hit. He tries to smack Pank back. And he pushes him. And he does strike. He does hit. You see the curiosity ebb and flow from the Torakai after the strike and hit that was taken from Ellie. And you see one of them break away from Scott and fly right over to her. And... oops, hang on. I got the mix up. Come back here. Scott, even in his delirium, will try to attack. And he will hit. Bless this man.
Oh, fuck.
Bless him fucking swinging! He's like, "Ah, fuck you!"
He just keeps trying.
It ain't much, but it's honest work, you fuckers. Yeah. He'll fly over to Ellie. This red will sonically just open its mouth and shriek at her. She has to roll a con save. And that first shriek hits her. She passes. Able to hold it up for the first attack. He shrieks once and she takes damage. And you just see almost like her eyes just squint together, her ears bleed. Seeming to not break her concentration, though, the being tries again and pushes her and tries to sink its teeth into her. This time, though, you just see again its long claws sinking into her to try to get into her. His bite strikes true. When he bites her, both of you roll me perception checks.
Shit. Ah!
Both of you can tell the bites from the Nelguro versus the Torakai are different.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the same visceral, fearful bodily response from this bite. You see necrotic damage, you see the blood, but it's not the same as when the Torakai bit Scott. You can tell the difference. But Ellie has taken a significant hit. Green and Pink will continue to focus on Scott. One of them seeming to, with their claw, just clutch onto his neck. Whatever he was trying to inject him with doesn't seem to pierce through. The other, while he's distracted, continues to attack him. While the magic didn't seem to pierce, the other did seem to get his bites in. Oh my bad, I forgot to do a con save for Ellie's haste on the bite. Yeah, she makes it through. Ellie, despite being bitten, despite being sound blasted out, she's able to keep the haste up. Scott is pushing back the necrosis powers and abilities, but the bites are pushing through. Zuzu, it's your turn.
Let's see. Is there anywhere where I can get to this guy like that?
You could.
Yeah, he just moves as they're falling. He just bobs and weaves, and he's gonna pull out his little ink blade. And as he does, he got from the assassin. He's gonna put a little booming blade on it.
All right.
Bitch.
Oh,
Dang.
I'm all the damage too. I am so
Oh,
sorry.
fuck.
Does the booming blade only add extra if you hit?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
This one doesn't have booming blade on it, but he'll just swing it again because he can swing again.
Nice. That does hit. As you pull up your ink blade, you're pulling up this dagger you took from a Jerzan assassin. And seeming to see you come towards him initially, the Torakai moves out of the way. The blood, the smell in the air, despite the movement, is so thick. And he's not expecting a second strike, though, not from a wizard. And you're able to strike him on the side. He lurches forward and be like, ah. Yeah. Anything else?
I believe that's all he can do.
Alright. You see Scott attempting to focus on those immediately around him, trying to peel off. He focuses again on Pink, on the Nalgoro nearest him, especially with the Turka having pushed away from him out of his reach. He can feel his weakness as he just feels whatever's going on in his neck. Just, you see fear in his eyes still, but he must push through. Still hasted and still furied, he gathers himself to attack. Three of those striking true, one not so much. As maybe by the third swing, he can feel the exhaustion grip him. You hear the shrieks of this bat-like monstrosity as he keeps getting laid into. And feeling emboldened and feeling the desire to keep pushing. He pushes further. And action surges. And pushing past it, the exhaustion still striking him. The first two unfortunately miss, but the second one does strike true. The bat near him, bloodied and gored. The Todokai looking at you as you try to attack him. He smiles and almost seems to reach for your face. His eyes locking onto yours, a beautiful crimson, just endless swirlings, and you're just overcome with a sensation of delight and warmth. We could leave this place, you know. Return to your wife. Fight alongside me, and I can make dreams beyond come true of your desire. I need you to roll me wisdom saving throw.
The spell?
Mm-hmm.
You can counterspell it if it's a spell.
That's the thing, it's hard for me to tell. It's like, yeah, it's a spell. Oh, no, that's counterspell's a spell. Hold on. DM question to you, would you consider, like, a vampire charm a spell? Like, how do you really determine the difference between, like, is it a spell, or is it just, like, you know, a thing they can do?
I don't know.
Because it's not one of his spells I'm pulling from. It's one of his, like, actions that he can do. Like, almost like an attack, but it's just an action he can do.
If it's that, then yeah, maybe not. Maybe
Okay.
it's not.
So I'll let you take the counterspell back. I'll let you take that back. Because, like, it's not it doesn't have a spell slot. It's nothing like that. It's not a spell like that. It's more like a part of what he can do.
So wisdom saving throw?
Mm-hmm. You feel overcome with this warmth, like as if someone had just massaged your whole body. Just wrapped in delight. You don't want to hurt this person. This is someone you wish to be close to. You see the people around you. Why would they want to fight him? He's just so beautiful and delicious. You are charmed.
Keep your foul.
Oh shit. I feel like Azazel's just sitting here like the mom from Moonstruck at the dinner table, just like, your life's falling apart.
Yeah, what are you doing?
You got that damn hickey on your neck.
Yeah, that'll be his turn. Azazel, you see Zuzu. The last thing you see is Zuzu just get almost like where you see you know exactly what's happening. You've seen this before, and you don't need to roll anything. Like you're like, oh fuck, and you see the Todokai's hand extend out to Zuzu, and you just see Zuzu's body almost seem to melt in place and dangle there. His eyes, the Todokai's eyes, just glowing red.
Who do I don't know. Ooh,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I just don't know if this is gonna work as well. Oh. Okay, fuck it. Okay, let's see. Okay, another Eldritch Blast. Here we go.
Yes, on Sergeant Bitchface. And both hit. Oh, and both of them do +3, and can you roll a d4 for your favorite foe? Oh, it happens. Hey, damage is fucking damage.
Yeah, yep.
Let me see. Hold on. Minus. Actually, roll it one more time because it's for each attack.
Oh, okay.
Nice. There we go. Perfect. All of these strike.
Yes.
You see Zuzu enthralled and distracted. And you just see he just like these blasts, and you just hear a high-pitched shriek from him again, his teeth elongating, looking up at you.
Azazel's gonna look at this Tuarkaya and just say, keep your teeth out of my friend. And Azazel's gonna move over here.
Go for it.
Yep. Okay. And that's my turn.
Awesome. Ellie looking at the situation, looking at how Scott is doing as far as his deterioration, him being swarmed. Keeping her concentration up as best as she can, she continues to try to strike at the Torakai in the back, infusing once again her weapon. Not Flash Genius, sorry. Archangel. Come back here. There we go. She'll strike twice towards the Torakai again. She's just determined to blast him down. The first one striking true, right to his center. The second one missing. But she's able to get a jolt off on one of the strikes for extra damage, cutting into his chest. And helping to heal Scott along the way, too. She just seems out of breath as she keeps trying to blast and push, healing where she can, ordering Junebug again to strike to help with Scott's defensive. As Junebug does exactly that, smacking into them. They miss. Seemingly suspended in air, having a hard time coming to grips. The Red Nogoro tries again to strike Ellie. But this time, once again, he tries to, similar to his friend that he saw with Scott, they reach out with their claws and just seem to clamp into her. But he misses similarly. Not able to get to grips, it seems tightened enough to produce their spells as they'd wish. Something different about this space prevents them from doing so. Being as effective as they could be. They're far away from home. Ellie's able to resist it, as it just seems to shriek at her in anger. The Green Nogoro, seeing Junebug be such a nuisance, attacks it. Blasting it off attemptedly. both hitting. As Junebug seems to be kind of dazed. The sound beam seeming to affect his inner circuits. The other pink one, not losing sight of his prey, Nogoro keeps fighting and hitting towards Scott. He uses his vampiric touch as well, clawing deep into him. Easy prey, now. He wants his share. But he won't get it. As he digs his claws in, but he doesn't make contact. Scott's tattoos and glowing energy resisting any more necrotic energy that would invade him. And you just see this drool dripping off of these beasts as they just shriek in anger at Scott's resistance. Zuzu, you see your friend next to you. And you see these others that are seeking to harm him. You've seen people attack him.
Oh no.
This is your trusted friend. You need to protect this person. You would protect your friend, wouldn't you? Someone you care about?
Oh shit. No.
You want to protect him. All those allies you saw before are now as you see your enemy.
Oh my
What
god.
do you do?
Does it command me to attack them?
He doesn't command you to do anything. You just see these people. They're attacking your friend. These are not friends. These are your enemies. It's like a flip. Where these were your allies before, but more or less the, like the inverse. More or less.
Yeah, I'm just trying to... Because it says... If he tells me to attack someone, I have to roll again or something. I don't know if it happens afterwards or what.
Hang on, let me check. It takes, yeah. See, it takes that. So you're not under his control, but it takes his requests or actions in the most favorable way it can. And so, as it's your turn and approaching, you feel his influence and hear his words. These individuals wish to harm me. We must stop them. No? You can make a wisdom save. Absolutely. You need to stop these people from harming your friend. They've attacked his comrades, they've attacked him in front of you. Who do you go for?
I guess, let's see. 1 is Azazel, 2 is Familiar, 3 is Scott, and Ellie's 4, I guess. Let's see. Junebug, no! Alright, yeah, Booming Blade comes in, Ink Blade.
It hits.
Takes
Roll
20
20
points of
damage. Azazel, you see this look of lull in his eyes. As you see the whispers of the Totokai into his ears, and you just see Zuzu glide over and just without hesitation striking down Junebug. And as this blade, this ink blade, the psychic energy seems to pierce through the circuitry, you see Junebug starting to shut down, his arm kind of lightly falling off and clicking and shaking violently. Anything else?
Let's see. What else can we do? I think that's it. attack? Yeah, just in a fit of rage. Just,
Scott, in his delirium, you see the wound festering and bleeding. Just, it's such a gouge. And you see him just lightly drained from the blood that was taken from him, and he looks over and sees Zuzu coming over to Junebug, and Scott just yells, "No! What are you doing?" And he looks over at the Turakai, who's just smiling. And Scott continues to carve down into Pink next to him. The Norguro, who's so close on death's door, he will, for the sake of the fucking gods, carve through whoever it takes to get to where he needs to go. Still hasted. And hanging on.
Oh, shit. Shit! Shit!
No! Okay.
Dang!
God damn. Let me see what you got going on here. He just lays waste into this thing. And you can just see, like, its ears barely, like, parts of his body are barely hanging on. It's shrieking a mangled mess suspended in air. Part of his wings he just carves into, hacks off one of the wings, drives part of his maul into its chest and smacks the side of one ear. It's just a mangled mess as he just roars and screams, and you hear the draconic cries and rumbles in his chest as he just holds on and carves, channeling Martano and whatever else is in him through him. And again, you see this being delight in this, his arms raised up almost as if to invisible heavens above him. And you see whatever burn marks and chars from Ellie's shooting start to heal. Not all of them, though, but certainly some. Now that that's taken care of. A visit with an old friend. As he seems to kind of glide over and near and towards you, Azazel.
Yeah, shit.
And you see this buildup of energy come from his chest and his eyes. Psychic energy course through him. As he seems to give a psionic almost shriek in your mind that propulses you. I'm starting out with advantage, my bad. But I guess it doesn't matter because it's a magic situation. And for some reason I didn't upcast it. My apologies. So let me add a couple d8s to that. Because he cast it at a higher level. So roll me a dex saving throw. Nice! You just make it!
Oh, thank God!
So instead of the 27 damage you would have taken,
Oh, fuck.
you take 13 damage.
Okay.
Yeah. You just feel this, like, you see this psychic buildup as he just propels it towards you. You feel his mind push you with force. And since you're able to withstand the hit, you don't fall backwards. Even suspended in air, you're able to stay your put. And your force, almost seeing what's coming and girding yourself for it.
Okay.
is now
Okay.
your turn. Yeah.
Question. Are vampires technically undead?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Okay. Then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast again.
Hell yeah. Fuck that guy.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Oh
19
no.
hits.
Okay,
19
then
plus 3.
and then a D4.
Yes.
Oh fuck me.
It happens. Let's see. 10, 13. It seems almost like just suspended spell dueling in air, where it's like he blasts you with psychic energy and then you retaliate throwing an eldritch blast at him. You both striking each other. Anything else?
I'm looking. I'm seeing if there's anything. No, that's it. That's all I got.
Ellie, who seems to be continuously trying to hang on, this bat creature just clawing at her face. Attempting so hard. What she's doing, she feels, seems to be working. She wants to keep her concentration on continuing for Scott to strike over and over again, taking on the brunt. And she will do her best to keep that up, and to keep blasting from afar. She doesn't have much in the way of anybody right in front of her. She only has a certain amount of charges left to jolt.
Ugh.
But she's giving it all she has, knowing it's now or never.
Shit.
The toll of casting this over again, the toll and seeing of the turn and the bat in her face. She's able to get one off, but not the other. She strikes the Torakai. At this point, he almost seems to expect it at the second. But it still strikes him. And this time she tries to heal herself. She sees Scods carving into the other, but she's hurting. And heals herself a little bit, as much as she can. She commands Junebug again. Junebug looking at you, Zuzu, with a confused look on their face as you had seemed to cut off one of their limbs. It barely hanging on themselves, their jaw slacking, but using the last bit of their energy to hit the one in front of Scott. And it's seeming that the last Hail Mary, throwing themselves into the Nelguro that's fighting Scott. They strike them and strike them down. You see Junebug just collide with an Nelguro right in the chest, a last blow, before it seems to let out a final curdling shriek and just fall. Even though you're all falling, it seems like you're falling and his body just kind of continues to be in stasis and shoot up above you, disintegrating. The other Nagoro shriek out in anger. An echo that's just deafening to the ears. And the one next to Ellie will seek to avenge. And they will succeed.
Oh
With full anger and full force. Ellie is struck by these sonic blasts, and you just see it rip her body up. You see the bruising on her body. She'll roll con saves for the haste. Despite it all, despite being mangled from the inside out from the sonic blast, she's able to keep the haste up on Scott.
my god.
The other green one seeking to finish the job that Zuzu seemed to have started. He attacks Junebug with the first sound blast. And Junebug just crumbles.
Oh shit.
He just seems to disintegrate, and the parts similarly just flying up above you quickly. One last attack. And he aims at Ellie. For the last blast. And Ellie's down.
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh.
It seems to shriek in victory.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
Let's see.
Come on, Zuzu, snap out of it. Everything up on it.
Okay, one's Azazel. 2, 3 is Scott, and then 4 is Allie.
What was 3 again?
Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna put a little booming blade on it.
That will miss barely. Yeah. That will hit.
Alright. Hits him with 7 piercing, which is halved, and then I don't think he takes the full psychic damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he should, as even though he is raged, psychic should still pull through. It's 21. Yeah, strike's true. The second one does. You see Scott just look at you incredulously, yelling, "Snap out of it!" Then he blocks the first one, yelling for you to snap out of it, and then, off guard, you catch him and strike him on the side. Mirroring the same side, perhaps, that your trusted friend bit. It's a weak spot. And Scott just yells out.
Yeah, he moves in a very unnatural way. Very elven-like, but yeah, he's very graceful as they're falling, free falling.
Mm-hmm. God, almost seeming annoyed and enraged, will continue to fight. He sees Ellie being attacked or having been attacked. He wants to focus on whoever's in front of him. But a part of him wants to take the risk too. He pushes off from either of you. Both of you getting opportunity attacks. If you take it. That will strike.
9/11, never forget.
Oh god. Both hitting him, unfortunately.
Oh fuck. Damn.
For a lot of damage too, it sucks. But
And Scott's still up after, like...
yeah, he's been healed quite a bit, and also
Okay.
he's raging, so things come to him at half.
Okay.
He's not looking so great. But he has haste up, and he's got a fucking murder look at the Torokai as he lays into him as best as he can.
Dang.
3 out of 4 of those will hit. And you see as he carves into him, even though there's delight in the Totokai's eyes, he's being hit quite a bit. You see the strain in his face as these axes lay into him from Scott. He's able to dodge one of them, but Scott is quick in retaliation, carving up and down. Moment. Let me read this really quick. Cool. Just want to make sure I was reading that right. On his turn, being swiped left, right, and center by Scott, he seems to reach out with his hand and grip him by the neck, sticking his fingers deep into his wound which his bite created, and pump more necrotic energy into him.
Oh my god.
And you just see his fangs elongate, but he doesn't bite. You just see his fingers dig and pump more blackness into his veins as he just bares himself, his teeth in fullness, smiling, his eyes red and glinting. And whatever he seems to be injecting into his throat, he's healed in that same instance.
Oh, fuck.
His eyes almost seem to roll back in pleasure. But you can see his wounds are quite grievous. The Turokais are,
Okay.
as are Scods. But that'll be his turn. Azazel.
Okay, okay. Okay. I'm gonna hit him again.
Blast his ass!
Jesus Christ. Internally, Azazel's like, come on, Raven Queen. But, like, is he gonna say anything? You know?
Nice.
Okay.
And then 2d4s for those. Perfect. So that's the 11 plus 3, 14, 12. Awesome. As you seem to lay into him with these Eldritch Blasts, he seems to be focused on injecting this energy and seeming to heal from it. You feel this intensity of focus, this centeredness. As you lay these 2 Eldritch Blasts true. How do you do it?
Oh, fuck! Okay. Ooh, I was sweating. I was literally sweating. Okay. God. Okay. So Azazel, in this deep focus, internally, it's just like calling to their patron. Like inside, they are just reaching out to the Raven Queen, and they are not asking for permission. They are demanding. And with a hint of hatred. Like, it's control, but it's like pure, utter fucking hatred. Azazel reveals this sinister smile across his face as he just blasts this, and it's almost now like a shadowy electric ichor. It's disgusting in a way of how gnarly this is. And it just is an embodiment of how much he fucking hates vampires. And for a split second, he lets this piece of shit know in his face, I fucking hate you and I own you. And then he explodes.
Yeah, no, it's you just feel her energy course through you. You felt her hate and her disgust upon their arrival. You felt her churning inside of you, driving your Eldritch Blast, driving the power you have is from and through her. And as you see this Turkai weakened, eyes set on indulgence, you just channel your hate, you saw him coerce and charm Zuzu, you saw Ellie go down, you're seeing Scott being bitten into and drank from. And your Eldritch Blast coming through and striking finally at the Turkai and seeming his wounds seeming to almost rip through him. And he looks at you and again smiles. As you see him almost kind of starting to disintegrate into a mist. Not for me to taste, as he looks you up and down. Only for my master. And you just see him lean almost back into a mist that he dissolves into.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear his last whisper in the mist. We will meet again. At least I hope. And his mist just seems to disintegrate all around you. But he's gone.
Okay.
You see him evaporate. Almost. Nothing left of him, but his minions remain. Zuzu still, at first, seems crazed, but then you see a snap in his eyes as his eyes return back to normal with the disappearance into the mist. Scott is still bloodied and drained of blood, necrosis seeming to spread. Junebug is long destroyed. Ellie barely floating, barely conscious. We'll call it a session.
Oh, fuck.